Matt Mahler with MovieWeb. It's a pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good.
I love your blue blazer. That you look great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really love this show too. It's warping. It's so twisty, but it really creeps in from the edges.
Oh,
The
that's a
emotion.
great
You know,
description. That is
yeah,
a
it really.
great description of the show.
Yeah, you have a very generous, charitable role here. You occupy all the space of the show, haunting it literally and figuratively, but you're not interactive in the traditional sense of a character. It's not thankless, but it's generous, like I said. What interested you in playing this part of Lynn? Uh, because you're so acclaimed and you're a great actor.
Thank you. I wanted to work with Billy, and I really value and appreciate the subject matter. And there is something to me about what this show calls for, which is connection and the insistence on connection. And if you don't have the connection, like the love between Billy and myself, if you don't have that as the basis, the foundation of this man's search for what's happening to him and his own guilt and process and journey to transformation, if you don't have that grounded in some way, the show doesn't take off in the way that I believe that it needs to. I wanted to work with Sarah Thorpe, Eric Roth. Apple has been incredible to us. So there were a lot of pieces of this that made me really want to do it. And I hear what you're saying, and I know what you're saying, but those are some of the reasons.
Yeah, I imagine it's just so much energy there in that cast and crew.
Well, and also if you watch to the end, I mean, I don't know how far you've gotten, but you see at the end
Whole thing,
really
yeah.
the story. And as you said, it creeps in on you. It comes from the edges and moves in.
Yeah, it's a powerful closer. You're wet through a lot of this. Did they have towels on hand for you? Was it an uncomfortable shoot?
You know, I didn't, you don't think about it. I didn't think about it. And yes, I had a really wonderful woman who took care of me, my Midge Denton, and she was great. And there were plenty of towels. Yes, that's such a funny question. There were plenty of towels. And look, I mean, those are the things that when you look at a script, you say, oh, this is what's going to be required, and you just know that you're going to do it. So you don't think, oh my God, and this is a tragedy. I mean, the story itself has some elements of tragedy, but not the actual act of being wet itself.
There's
Everybody, I mean, they take care of you. The water's warm and it's not a problem.
you didn't have the blue lips like like Noah.
It's okay, Ma.
Good.
Don't worry about it, Mom. I was okay.
I'm curious. Well, with the minute I have left, before I know I have to wrap, Alyssa Milano this year was talking about still continuing reboot of Who's the Boss and how it was such a forward-thinking show where the gender roles were swapped and reversed in a way, and you were playing. A powerful someone we rarely saw on television at that time,
Right.
but even now. 40 years, I think. It's the 40th anniversary of
Yeah.
when it premiered. Would you be interested in continuing that or even just guest starring?
You know what? I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know where they are in their own journey and their process of putting it together. So when it's farther along, then we can talk about it again. But I certainly
Sure.
loved my time, and I love my Tony Danza, and I know exactly what Alyssa is talking about when she says that the show was cutting edge. And I, to this day, have young women come up to me and say, I watched that show when I was a little girl, and I knew that I could be in business today because I saw a role model. And we didn't really know at the time what we had. The gender swapping of the roles, also the image of a role model of a woman in the workplace. Nobody really had talked about that before, but you know, kudos to ABC for sure for doing that. It was a great time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I could talk about this for a lot more, but I have to wrap, unfortunately. Thank you for discussing it and for being charitable here.
Thank you. Very
I
happy to see you. Very happy to
I
talk to you.
appreciate you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.